Yeah,
Shots.
yeah, yeah. Hello
Okay.
and welcome, DCL fans. Today, we're doing the rest of the semifinals because we ran out of time yesterday. And yeah, shout out. Got Glop here. We're going to be talking about some back shots, as the
Yo.
title does suggest. Let me go ahead and link the stream. Booyah. There we go. What's up, Super Dolphin? How's it going? Now, this Genius X versus Helom game, just a little bit of backstory. I did mock Genius a couple times with a 5-minute build and I smashed him twice. So going into this game, I did not have high hopes for him, but I gave him a Zarude set that 6-0s and then he didn't bring it, so.
The funny thing is, on their end, tacticians were stressing the fuck out of this matchup. They thought it was like a really bad matchup.
The classic. The classic,
Yeah.
My matchup is bad.
I mean, we've all been guilty of it. We've all been there before. But I think that they had some fair points. Like there was definitely some issues facing this team, mainly because on Zing's side, all 6 of his mons were very bringable. I think there was a benched Carbink,
And Aloe, right?
there was an Aloe bench, right? Which is like, look at that team. It literally comes in and turns on fucking 4 out of the 6. So, if not 5, realistically.
Yeah.
So, right, they were definitely right to be worried about how some of the sequences would play out. But I think that the prep that Helm ended up going into this game with was pretty sound. I was actually in the server like last minute talking with him in the VC and shit. And we were optimizing some EVs and things like that. And I think that he really had a solid game plan. I think it's going to show in the first couple turns.
Yeah. So, because we both have a little bit of background knowledge on the opposite sides, is actually pretty cool. This Zapdos set, if I remember correctly, was like metal sound, like some kind of throat spray thing, which was designed to break Ting Lu early to open up the Iron Crown, the Landers, and the Monkey Dory. Like this team really emphasizes breaking down that Ting Lu and just kind of like overwhelming it with like 4 things that are checked by Ting Lu. You know what I mean?
See, I was thinking, and just from my remembrance of the game, I was thinking Zing's game plan was break with the Monkey Dory, and then that enables the Crown and Zapdos late game. But obviously, you can kind of mix and match the order of those things depending on information that you gather and how the game flow is playing out, right?
See, I told him Monkey Dory is dicks. He should just bring Aloe.
Well, I mean,
He didn't listen to me.
It is dicks.
I know.
So sad.
There's a whole ass Ting Lu. There's a Torn that could be AV.
Like, what? How many points do you think Monkey Dory would have to be
For
it
me to
be,
draft it, or for other
like,
people?
Just no, to where anybody who drafts it can say that this was a good use of points and that this wasn't dog shit. Like 4?
I wanted to say 4, yeah.
But it's so surprising because you look at the stats in the move pool and you're just like, how can this thing be bad, right?
It's a slightly worse Gengar.
Well, but here's
But
the thing.
like,
Gengar
yeah.
is like 8-9 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about putting this guy at 4. Doesn't that just seem a little bit outlandish?
Yeah, but I wouldn't take him for 5.
I mean, I'm right there with you. Neither would I. But you know what it is? Okay, actually, I figured out what it is. The problem is not that Monkey Dory is like this horribly dogshit Pokemon. That's part of it. But realistically, in any given matchup, it's like some other piece is just better to have on your team rather than this thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's completely like you could make him a 1-pointer. And I feel like I can make an argument for Carbink being better in a matchup than him. You know what I mean?
Easily, yeah. No, you
That's
spit
kind of
me.
his woe, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
Verky's got a good point. Yeah, at least Gengar's secondary typing is useful. Psychic doesn't do Monkey Dory any favors at all.
No, it's a detriment, if anything. But anyways, I think that's a little bit of an intro, so we can actually get into this game here. So Terra Normal on the Cyclozar and Terra Ground on the Torn. Now this matchup, Terra Ground Torn, is the most obvious thing ever, because it hits everything, right? And then also you're able to set up on Zapdos with Nasty Plot.
The
have
funny
to hit
thing
multiple hurricanes.
about that Torn is I don't even think it was revealed, but the moves on this thing are just not what you expect. I think they were like no flying move. It was like Terra Blast, Sludge Wave, Heat Wave, like Icy Wind, or some really weird shit.
It was like 4 attacks.
Yeah, the main idea, I think it was like the way they, I'm pretty sure it's Life Orb too, the way they built this team was they wanted this Torn to basically always be able to threaten lethal damage onto all of the common Zarude Terror types they were seeing, right? So basically it would leave it in range of being revenged by like, you know, the Cyclozar coming in or an Ice Shard from Baxcalibur, things like that. That's sort of how they built this Torn. It's a really unorthodox set, but I think it makes sense in the context of this given matchup.
Yeah, I was kind of stealing his lunch money with Nasty Plot, Life Orb, Ground Torn, with just Terra Blast, Icy Wind, and Bleak Wind, I believe it was. Or maybe I had Hurricane. Just like general strong move. Yeah, like yeah. He just couldn't beat it to save his life.
I used Torn recently in DGBA, and I really loved like the ground Nasty Plot set. I think like ground flying is
good.
It's really strong coverage.
Shout out to Landorus, right?
Yeah, it's basically just faster special Lando. But with an actual flying move that doesn't require you to like Terra, you know?
Yeah. Alright, so let's get into the game. Is Terra Dark on the Zarude as well?
So I know Helom's planned lead was the Rotom. I believe it's like a Trick Scarf Rotom with Light Screen, and they basically have a certain play lined up for each individual lead sequence that they saw. So
and you see a Lando, which is really great for Helom, right? There's a pretty free Hydro Pump if you really want to, or you could just trick the incoming Zarude because nothing else wants to take this Hydro Pump. Maybe Monkey Dory can come in. He just stays in with the Landorus for rocks, and now it's a Scarf Landorus, okay? And now it's a free Volt Switch, yeah. 37 on the Monkey Dory with a crit. Alright, now Ting Lu's gonna come in. Takes a big Grass Knot, but Rocky Helmet and his Spike goes up. So Monkey Dory getting the job done, weakening the Ting Lu. Maybe he changed the Zapdos set, because I remember that being the lead when I mocked him, but
I'm guessing that Sludge Bomb was trying to aggressively call like the Torn, but I feel like Helom's never gonna risk that, right? So free second Spike is pretty nice.
Yeah. Now the Scarf Lando comes in, probably gonna force us out with a with a Hammer Arm, I guess.
Yep.
All right. Fair enough. We see a hard Volt Switch on the switch out there. So nice play. Now Bax comes in, and Zapdos just goes for a Hurricane. Lands a little bit to the left.
Yep. I do have some information on that Baxcalibur set. So it's like Adamant with 252 SpDef and like Goob HP. I think it's got like 190 something, right? So realistically, this Hurricane wasn't even coming close to two-shotting.
I mean, you're going to see the damage this next turn as well. We see a second Dragon Dance, and the Hurricane comes out, does 48. This is on an offensive Zapdos, judging from what you just said.
Yep.
So it probably is that Metal Sound kind of throat spray set.
The idea of their set was that I believe it lives like a plus, I think it maybe it was +1 Tachyon Cutter, or maybe it's just modest Tachyon Cutter from full. So like if it's a speed boost, so basically you could DD, and if you went hard into speed boost and crown, you could live the Tachyon and get up a second DD.
Yeah, and then you're +2/+2. Much like we find ourselves in this current situation.
Right
and yeah, for a lot of sets, like these bulky Dragon Dance sets that are designed to set up twice, once you get that second setup, it's over. Like, double speed, double attack. Zarude comes in, it's Terra Dark, and it's just going to be a Glaive Rush, and that crit hella did not matter, I'm pretty sure.
No shot, yeah.
Cinderace comes in, goes down. Yeah, booster speed crown, but +2 is faster. Booyah. And now this lander is also going to go down.
So the thing is, even if Zinc had gone hard into the crown, it was going to allow a second DD. And then from there, you would have had to have been priority move on the Cinderace. But from what I heard, he was
Sucker
Scarf.
Punch.
Right. So I think his line of play was he had
Scarf?
to go hard. Yeah, he was Scarf. That's what I was told.
When he played me, it was Bandit, and it was taking lives.
He messaged me after the game. He said it was Scarf with like low kick.
All right, well, should have gone to that, I guess.
Well, if he went hard into it, I don't think it Okos with low kick, but obviously he would probably be pressured into attacking because he'd be worried about like a Bandit hit, right? The problem is, even if you go crown and you tacky on it, you have to get a sucker punch play right with Cinderace, assuming you're choiced, right? Because if you just DDs again on your sucker, you're kind of just fucked.
He said it
So
smokes
I feel like
max HP Bax.
Yeah.
Well, should I have gone to that then? I don't know.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, so
I really doubt. I have a hard time believing that Scarf Cinderace Oko's max HP Bax with low kick. I feel like that's a fraudulent calc.
let's hit it with a fact check.
Yeah, let's fact check that shit. I feel like that guy eats, dude. Bax is god.
Cinderace, monotype choice scarf, low kick versus Baxcalibur, max HP. It's a roll.
Yeah, he said smokes. Yeah, okay, buddy. Oh, he's
Yeah.
HJK. Yeah, I guess that'll do it. No, that 100% gets it. Well, 90% gets it.
97%, and you said he was like not max HP.
He was like 196 HP or something. Or
Yeah,
like,
so it died.
had a lot.
It died.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
basically,
should have done that.
Zing just sucks.
Oh, and adamant? Yeah. Super kills. So another Cinderace-based insane throw. What can I say? This guy should never use Cinderace again. It's a cursed Pokemon for him. Backstock's going up. Maybe. Alright, and now to set the stage for this Game 8. Yeah, this is Game 8, by the way. If you missed any of the previous games, they were in the stream yesterday. That past Genius versus Helm game was Game 7, and now the situation is Ancient Tacticians, which is going to be Max's team, Fortunate Son, are up 4-3 against ZFG, one of the heavy favorites going into the playoffs. So, Undead must win this game to keep his team into tiebreaks. But if Max wins this one, they advance to the finals. So very high stakes on this game of Gen 7. Now this is Gen 7, but we do see a Mega Gardevoir. This is something that has been popping up a little bit recently, is a little bit more Mega Gardevoir in Sun and Moon. You see it a lot in ORAS, but people are starting to use it in Gen 7 as well. It's a little bit weaker, but not super noticeable, and it is quite cheap right now. It's kind of like crept down the tier list quite a bit, whereas now it's quite good value. It still has all the tools that it had in ORAS, but obviously Hyper Voice is a little bit less powerful, and Wisp is a little bit less damage with the burn.
Actually,
My music might be a little bit loud. Let me turn that down for a sec.
It's really interesting that you point that out, because you're exactly right. Like, I'm thinking back to past DPLs, DCLs. I feel like I never see Mega Guard in Usum.
Well, we see it here in DCL, and we've also seen one in DFL, if I remember correctly.
Clean, this was post-nerf, so Gen 6, it was the strong pixelate. Gen 7, they nerfed all the 8 abilities.
Yeah, Glalie was just tearing up the format. Can't have that.
It was just broken, dude. Yeah, explosion. No switching.
Yep. But yeah, very high stakes on this game.
I feel like an interesting part about the Guard, too, is surely teams aren't prepping for it as much, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, in ORAS, it's like you got to have that steel type, that Registeel, or that, something that can basically respond in some way to Guard. That's definitely not how people are thinking. Now, obviously, there's things like Lele in the format, but I don't even see Lele get drafted that much.
Lele is not in Gen 7. It's banned. It's in Gen 8.
Wait, is it banned in Gen 7?
It is banned in Gen 7 because all the
that would explain
surge
it.
abilities are 1.5x. Which,
well, we have Coco, so we
Lele-
allow Coco, but not Lele, huh?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
That is fascinating. I always wondered why that I never saw that thing, but I never stopped to actually think about it, because I think
Oh.
personally, Gen 7 I think is a Looney Tunes format. Okay, I'm gonna put that out there in the universe. That being said, I was like, why does nobody ever draft this thing? So I guess, yeah, teams aren't preparing for that, so that even gives more value, I would argue, then to Guard.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a low point mon, like you said.
Yeah, I think it's crept down to somewhere on 11 points or something like that. I might be off by one in either direction, but I think it's somewhere around there. We're not going to fact check that one. But here, Undead is fortunate enough to have a Klefki on his team, which is about as good as you can reasonably ask for in the Gen 7 format. Able to Prankster T-Wave it, all that sort of thing. Pretty reasonable. As well as setting spikes is super strong versus this team with 6 grounded Pokemon and no removal. So Klefki might be a really important mon in this matchup. In terms of like the Zygarde, you have to break through a Slowbro and a Mega Sableye. It seems a little bit unlikely. So maybe this Zygarde is going to be Choice Banded, maybe it's going to be Dragonium. Either way, it's going to be something to like kind of threaten these fat Pokemon. It's not going to be like... not going to be anything like Assault Vest or like Leftovers, or you need some power on this guy. Anything else to note? I mean, Gren looks really good. Right, the dark resists are not that great.
As hell.
Mienshao is pretty good, yeah.
Right, like if four of them get like a free fighting move on, and the other two you just U-turn on. I feel like there's no like long-term response to Mienshao. So if it's able to stick around throughout the course of the battle, it's going to be pretty annoying for Max to handle.
One thing to note is that there's 3 regen mons, and this Mega Gardevoir doesn't have to Mega immediately. You can trace the regen quite a lot, and potentially just long-term check the Mienshao, right? With like a defensive Gardevoir. Unless it has Poison Jab, and like catches you on the switch.
2 shots. Yeah, that easily 2 shots Fizz Def Guard.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to predict that, right? You can't HJK into Poison Jab because it'll live and kill you back, right?
Well, you can HJK into U-turn, and that'll probably do at least like 45 minimum.
Yeah, but still, that's like a net 12, right? Not super significant.
Hey, but with those spikes up,
hey,
that's 25.
Gotta get those spikes though.
Yeah,
for sure the spikes are gonna be the key to this victory, I feel like.
I agree.
Alright, let's get into the game. For all the marbles, Sableye leads off into the Jirachi. This is going to be a free Mega Evolve. And takes a Moonblast that looks to be especially defensive Sableye. Gets a Wisp off. So this Jirachi is going to start to get chipped.
I believe it's Policy Jirachi. I remember seeing some of Max's prep.
Yeah.
Which, like, it's a nice idea, but are you really going to, like... Dude, I feel like Undead is the last person who would fall for, like, weakness policy bait. Especially in playoffs. I feel like he's always very composed, right? So maybe a little bit of a questionable bring on Max's end, but nice in concept. Like, it'll work if you're like in pools or something, but in playoffs, come on, bro. Like,
I mean, I get the idea. There's a lot of things that can trigger it, like knock off Torn, Shadow Ball, or like Shadow Claw, Cure Black, Earth Power as well.
Sure. But in the lead sequence, I feel like he's never going to click knock off, right?
As a lead, yeah.
Kind of just screams, hey, get baited.
Yep. 16 recovers, yep. Shout out to
It's
Old
kind of
Chins.
unfortunate too, because this is their rocker. So if this Sableye is able to just keep sticking around, then you're never going to get those rocks up.
Yep, and here's that Gardevoir coming in. Doubles out to Jirachi. He's trying to just bait this Sableye to come in multiple times. Oh, but the spike does go up as Max does try to predict the Sableye fishing for a drop there. Doesn't get, and now a spike is up, and now you can go Sableye pretty safely. You've gotten your value, your spike, and now you can go ahead and safely deny those stealth rocks. Now that being said, one crit does kind of end Sableye's life here, but not going to get it, and it was only a 1-turn window. Now you need double crit to break through, so
that was a really smart maneuver from Undead. Getting up that spike, like even just the one layer is so impactful as this game progresses.
Yeah, that one spike is going to go so far, and especially like you're never going to rock, as like he's kind of conditioned. Sableye is always the response to Jirachi, even though he knows it's Moonblast and he knows it's offensive. Sableye still is coming in multiple times, so rocking there, really hard play to make, but spike, really fantastic. Now Torn comes in on the bulk up from Scrafty. This is going to force a Z move. It is Supersonic Skystrike. Do we see a Koba Berry? We do. Now, do we see Crunch? We do see Crunch, which is going to do more than knockoff, but less than Stone Edge. So maybe if we had Stone Edge, that would have knocked out the Torn, but maybe you just can't fit that.
On an earlier pace, I believe he was Head Smash, but I guess he took it off here, which if he had it, that would have netted a KO, and I feel like that's a great trade to make.
Yeah, Torn for the Scrafty. You take that any day of the week.
Yeah.
But not going to be the case here. U-turn going to knock that out. Get that regen back into Mienshao. Now Salazzle is going to be the response. Don't really switch in too well on Salazzle, but there is that Sableye there, so maybe that would be the answer. We see a Wisp and it's a slower Mienshao. Probably revealed from the fake out already. That's maybe Assault Vest or something to check the Gren.
I'm pretty sure the only Mienshao that runs fake out is Assault Vest.
Yeah.
Other sets are going to run like coverage moves, things like that.
Alright, now Torn is going to come in to farm that regen. Probably just going to be a U-turn here, to be honest. No, a Hurricane comes out. Fair enough. I guess with Jirachi solo, you're pretty willing to drop that Hurricane. Now Gren comes in, but Spadef Sableye, pretty comfortable to come in here. As we see a substitute on the knockoff. So sub Gren, we could see like a Pitaya Berry into Torrent range. I think that would be really powerful here. Undead going to just go Mienshao, bait that substitute, and now going to get the slow U-turn. And that's, yeah, Assault Vest Mienshao for sure. Going to give you a free switch into Kyurem Black, which is a big threat here. Dragon Claw is going to be faster than the Gren, so Scarf Kyurem, which means the Gardevoir can come in for free for the revenge. But at this point, 3 Pokemon down, and now you're getting your offense in. Klefki does come in. Oh, a Calm Mind. This might be dangerous.
For sure. It's and the set he's got is quite dirty. I actually think that, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a little preemptive, just a little bit.
Alright, so here's a Toxic. As we see a second Calm Mind.
Yep.
Now I see that's something Heal Bell maybe? Yeah, Heal Bell.
Yep.
And player only doing 28, so if this is like Wish Heal Bell, this can 1v1 up.
There it is, the kisser. It makes sense too, because like you were saying, right, there might be scenarios where the game state plays out that Gardevoir wants to stay not Mega Form. So while it's in that form, it can still have a move that actually hits targets like the Mienshao and the Kyurem super effectively. So it really works nicely with the set, whether you're Mega'd or not Mega'd.
Yeah, the problem is you're getting out damaged by Play Rough quite heavily. And Toxic as well. It's doing like a net, what? Because we recovered like 17%, but Playful's doing 28, and every time you Toxic, that's a free 6% as long as you hit in the sequence.
If the last move was Reflect, I feel like this could have taken it home.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't remember what the last move was on it.
Yeah, you're only healing 16, and oh, the Figgy Berry is the nail in the coffin, I feel like.
Yeah. Because at this point, you're forced out. Now you come back in at 30 and you take Toxic. Like, it's kind of wraps.
And now we're switching our Zygarde into a Play Rough, gets an attack drop. And it looks like we might be going to tie breaks here. Okay, so we do see a Toxic Zygarde, so not what I really expected. More so like an offensive set trying to just brute force through this Slowbro. But a Toxic, okay, fair enough. Life Orb Salazzle is revealed here with a Sludge Bomb. Into that Slowbro, leaving it quite weak. But with 2 Pokemon really low HP, yeah, there's a Heal Bell, but yeah, Scald comes out. We see a burn. No burn, but I think we're just cooked at this point. You can go Kyurem Black and Ice Beam twice. Pretty simple endgame. And there we are going to tie breaks.
That the undead comment.
Not like the Mox.
Is all I could say.
Yeah.
It's crazy work. Could you imagine? Because that's the thing, right? Like, it's always crazy when you're in a team tour and like you're getting your ass beaten Mox, or the Mox are really, really close, and then you show up to the real game and you just smoke the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
And it's such a huge like disparity between what you're expecting and what actually happens. You're just like, oh wow, like did I do that?
Yeah.
At the same time, it also kind of makes you wonder, like, what the hell was going on over in that team server? How did they not, you know, iron this out more? It's always fascinating.
Why didn't they see what we saw, sort of thing?
Right.
Yeah. And maybe they did see it, and it just wasn't working for them. You never know.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Max did like 2 mocks, and he did like all of his builds, I think it was in the 11th hour, which is like pretty textbook Max. But
all right. Yeah, you love that in a Game 8 decider.
Right?
My brother in Christ. Alright, so into the tie breaks here. I believe this is the wrong order. They played it in this order here. Genius was game 1. So Genius versus Habita. 2 fantastic SD battlers. And here, got a little bit of a game. Raging Bolt Mirror. So, Habita's team, Ancient Tacticians, they've run Scarf, Roaring Moon like 20,000 times. Will this be the same deal? I mean, I'm looking at it. I feel like you don't need it, this matchup. You could definitely be a different set on this Roaring Moon, right? Because Scarf would be for like a Darkrai, but you have a Conkeldurr, which is like one of the best answers ever.
I actually know pretty much Habita's entire pace. The way this team is built, Conk is not ever meant to be the designated switch in to the Corviknight, sorry, to the
Darkrai.
Darkrai. Yeah. So, believe it or not, the Roaring Moon is indeed Scarf.
Ah, frick.
I will say that. Now, the Jirachi was really an interesting set, and it's, man, this game makes me feel a certain way. But it's unfortunate because like they basically decided to ignore one little thing, and it kind of bites them. We'll let the
one little
sets reveal
little
themselves.
tiny thing.
Yeah, one tiny, not a huge deal or anything. But...
I can't wait. So, in terms of Terra types, we have a Ground Raging Bolt on Genius's side and a Fairy Raging Bolt on Habita's side. Secondary Terra captains, I don't see any. So probably just going to be the Raging Rogers on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the major threats here? I'm looking at Bolt, right? Bolt is pretty good into both teams. There is a Lando T, which obviously can be a check, but it's not amazing as a Raging Bolt check, especially if you're just dropping Specs Dracos, which it's Terra Fairy, so maybe it won't be Specs, but still, like, booster special attack, going to dent even an AV Lando quite heavily, and it will be able to take at least one Earthquake, maybe even 2 Earthquakes before going down.
The Pex is also kind of a huge threat in the sense that it's very difficult to remove, right? The only Pokemon that are threatening lethal damage onto it are potential offensive Jirachi or the Raging Bolt on Habita's side. So everything else basically just allows free entry points for the Toxpex. It can come in, it can control, it can heal, and disrupt with like Rocky Helmet, things like that. So
I'm almost wondering if you would consider like an Iron Ball Alomomola, trying to get a slow flip turn on Toxpex to repeatedly get that Raging Bolt in like many times. I mean, at the same time, though, there is that Gliscor that can kind of come in on Toxpex more often than not. That being said, it's not Terra Gliscor, so it could be packing Ice Beam, which would outdamage the Toxic Orb, Poison Heal plus Protect. So, maybe not the most reliable thing in the world, but still, there are more options than just it's like a slower flip turn. By looking at it, I don't think you need like an AV or anything on here because it's not checking Bolt either way, this Aloe. Maybe you want the AV for Darkrai, but yeah, maybe you want a Helmet for Lando. But at the same time, maybe you could just be like eject button or something like that. People have run that quite a lot on Aloe this season, so it wouldn't surprise me. And yeah, let's get into the game. This is game 1 of tiebreaks, folks. Ogerpon lead into the Raging Bep. This is Terra Fairy on Habita's side.
His nicknames go crazy this game, trust.
Conkeldurr Bep. Yeah, I should have known. Now a knockoff comes out immediately, trying to get rid of a Raging Bolt item. Maybe a Specs, maybe something else. This could be a bulky Ogerpon designed to, you know, take a Draco Meteor and then synthesis it off and live that forever. So knockoff makes a lot of sense there. Gets rid of the Rocky Helmet on Conkeldurr, which means, yeah, it's not going to be a Darkrai check. So once you see this, it should be pretty apparent that it is going to be Scarf Roaring Moon. Otherwise, that Darkrai is going to be a little bit too challenging of a Pokemon. So Genius kind of sussing out a little bit of his team. But at the same time, Rocky Helmet breaking the Surdy is kind of a big deal, because now this Conk is threatening a KO with a Drain Punch, a Close Combat, any sort of fighting move will knock out this Corner Pawn. But a Spike goes up anyways, catches the knockoff, aimed at maybe the Corviknight, maybe the Pex, maybe the Lando, kind of a catch-all on all the switch-ins, but Genius reads that, gets up a free Spike, and that Spike is going to hit 5 Pokemon, but the Defogger is kind of in front of it, right?
Unless you're
what is going on in my... I got an ad on my music.
And your music is crazy. Yeah. No, those are just the voices in your head, L5. They're just...
Oh, is my ad blocker not working anymore? Damn.
Sometimes they get through.
Yeah. All right. The music
We're all
is
good,
back,
folks.
don't worry.
He took his pills. He's back. He's with us.
Is Rocky Helmet the most broken item in the game? This is what many people are saying. It is true.
I would say it is the best item in the game, low-key.
I think it has really big competition from Choice Scarf, but as a defensive item, I mean, it is just the best.
It's the best defensive item, easily. Yeah.
And here's a taunt trying to prevent the defog as Ice Punch comes out, and we're just sacking our Ogerpon to guarantee the spike up, which maybe he's okay with. And now Raging Bolt comes in, Draco Meteor is dropped, and it is Choice Specs as hell. That Conk just drops from 90%, which is kind of crazy. Now tough as a muh, the Gliscor comes in. At -2, Gliscor could use this as a setup opportunity or a stealth rock opportunity. We don't really know if Jirachi or Gliscor is the rocker here. We're going to find out this turn, and it is going to be the Gliscor. But Darkrai does get a free switch in, so threatening the Ice Beam here. Probably going to see an Alomomola pivot here. I would be really surprised if we saw anything else. And there is the Aloe. We see Boots Aloe, but it probably still is Spadef. Booyah!
Yeah, so the Aloe is Max Spadef. The set was Boots, and it was 3 attack. It was Flip Turn, Bounce, and Sleep Talk. Now you might be wondering what the hell is going on here. Well, when you're asleep with the Alomomola and you go for the Sleep Talk, the only move you can pull on that list is
Flip Turn.
Flip Turn. Right. So Bounce was just as like an extra move that you, because originally it was just 2 attack, and I was like, nah, bro, put Bounce on it, because like there's no downside to having it. But something that Habita and Lukapi were talking about as the week was going on was they were considering the idea of Wakanberry, but they weren't sure how realistic the Nasty Plot Thunder would be. So they decided to go with Boots just because it would give Aloe more entry points over the course of a longer battle, especially if, you know, Conk got knocked out and Hazard stayed up. But because they didn't have that foresight, this Darkrai just becomes a fucking monster, right?
Yeah. And now
I mean, it's risky 70% of the time, but when you hit, it kind of just decides the game.
Yeah, for sure. That's like the one like weird thing about Darkrai is all of its coverage moves, like not all of them, but some of the important ones, Focus Blast, Thunder, they're just inaccurate, man. But when they hit, they're so strong. And here, you're going to see the Aloe. Max Spadef goes down in 1 hit. And now without getting that Flip Turn chip on this Darkrai, Roaring Moon no longer really threatening an Oko on this, so you can just stay in and click Ice Beam, I feel like. A U-turn comes out, it's Tanga Berry anyway, so even with a Flip Turn, you would have had to Outrage, which I don't know if you would have. And actually just goes straight for the Dark Pulse, calls the U-turn, which was kind of a forced play from Haba's side. Can't exactly Outrage into an Ice Beam there, I think that's just throwing. So, I mean, either way, Haba was expecting an Ice Beam,
well,
sacks
Hab doesn't
Gliscor.
have he doesn't have Thunderclap, so yeah, Outrage is never a play there. Even if you do, there's a full Corv in the back that Zing could easily just retreat to, right?
Yeah.
So,
and Zing not even going to sack the Darkrai, has a free switch to Pex, is eject button, so now Lando gets in on the Scarflocked U-turn.
Poor
and now
Roaring Misto. Poor Roaring Misto.
It reveals leftovers, so probably going to be Rock Spadef in this game, which probably we should have known from the fact that there's no other rocker. But now, it's a pretty free Earthquake here, I think. Like, the U-turn is forced. The Raging Bolt has not Terra'd.
Oh, nice, I'm being sacked. Misto Hunter, yeah.
But instead we see a sub. I don't really know what the point of the sub was here, but it's going to work out. We end up being faster than the Jirachi.
The point of the sub was for mental damage. It was psychic damage to Habita, yeah.
I get it.
Also, the sub was free, right? Because we know he's locked in the U-turn.
It was free, but also Earthquake was even freer, right?
Well, in this case here, look at this. It was better in Jirachi because you ended up being faster.
No, it's literally worse.
It's better because I said it's better. No, it's better.
No, because if you U-turn into Jirachi on the Earthquake and then we saw it was faster, you're just 2KOing that guy. You know what I'm saying?
I acknowledge
and you end up at 100% HP instead of 78.
But imagine he gets the Earthquake roll and he keeps the sub.
Could have been Encored as well if the Jirachi was faster. Exactly. And also imagine if the Raging Bolt came in and then you subbed, but then the Earthquake is on the Terra turn. It's just infinitely worse. Oh my god.
Have you considered that maybe Zing is a player who plays for the people and he wanted to give Habita a potential out by giving him an out with the fast Encore Jirachi? Did you consider that?
Yo, Pokemon Trainer or DCL players need therapy. How do you come up with this Aloe and then find the one Darkrai set to beat the Aloe? I mean, the bounce is a little bit just a silly tech, right?
The bounce wasn't even that wasn't even like important. Like,
yeah,
that was just
it's just Flip Turn Sleep Talk.
Yeah, you may as well just have the move because why not?
Yeah.
But then it was funny because I was talking with Hob and he's like, bro, he's like, but what if I'm just like, he's like, what if I'm ahead and what if I start trolling and clicking bounce? He's like, maybe it's better I don't have it on the set. I said,
okay,
bro,
but imagine you're like wheelchairing the game and then the Aloe just starts bouncing on it.
That's what I said, bro.
I said, from the mental damage?
Imagine you're beating Zing. I said, bro, you could just type in chat, start bouncing on it, bud, and then start clicking bounce, right?
Unfortunately, that's not the world we live in, because Genius is smoking this game. But still. Now the Raging Bolt comes in. Gonna get Earthquaked. But a Calm Mind comes out.
Raging Bep?
Yeah.
Just
sorry,
yeah,
my bad. My bad.
Yeah, all good, bro. Yep.
So it's Protect Lefties, Calm Mind. So 2 attacks, probably not going to be Thunderclap. I think this Landers is going to be able to 1v1 this thing.
You can see me in the chat. I said, who leaked? Because, bro, this was the most C-team as fuck thing I've ever seen. Like, surely Zing had the pace before the game, right?
Surely. And that's going to be the forfeit. So game 1 goes to ZFG in the tiebreak. And now we have a must-win game for Iron Boulders. He's been great all season long. Really consistent up until this point. Obviously, he did lose in the regular series, but now he's back in playoffs. We see the exact same matchup in Gen 7. We'll see if there's any adaptations from last week. Obviously, some stuff that worked out, some stuff that didn't.
Skarm over Scrafty is one thing, right?
Yeah.
I think
what can Skarm do?
The same
yeah, exact
6,
same
right?
6.
Yep.
But in a different order. So.
Could you imagine you're playing the same matchup like back to back? Like,
yeah, I hate that.
Silly. I do hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, but now we can go into it. This is Undead versus Toxic. Gardevoir going to lead off once again. Or is it once again? I feel like the Jirachi was the lead last time. But Gardevoir leading off, trying to prevent the Sableye from Mega Evolving immediately. And we're going to catch the Mienshao instead, which is also a great option. You trace the regen. You can kind of just go for a Psychic or something, maybe a Wisp, stay regular form. This U-turn going to get completely regened off as Klefki comes in on a T-Wave. Okay, T-Wave, pretty cool. And then a Magic Coat on the Spikes. He came prepared this time. Oh my god. A really fantastic opening for Toxic. Gets a Para on the Klefki and a Spike Up against the Mega Sableye team with a Gardevoir. that was kind of sick, I'm not going to lie. And now Klefki is kind of scared to click another Spikes because, like, what are you even supposed to do as Klefki in this situation? Another Magic Coat is pretty possible, but at the same time, the Gardevoir probably doesn't want to stay in and take a Play Rough for no reason. So we're probably going to see the Gardevoir switch out, but is that something that Undead is willing to risk and click a Spike trying to match it? I think maybe not, right? There's a Defog. Okay, so Defog Klefki, gonna keep the hazards off, so no harm, no foul actually. But now rocks go up from the Jirachi because the Sableye has not Mega Evolved.
We talk about that though, the Klefki is Defog Spikes. Yeah. Like, that's pretty uncommon, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about it, was it really Toxic having the foresight to have the Magic Coat, or was it Undead with the foresight knowing it could be Magic Coat and having the Defog to clear it if that happens?
Maybe it's just low-key bipolar. I set up the spikes so I can defog them away.
Hey man, I'm trying to build them up and you're just tearing them down, okay?
Dude predicted the Magic Coat. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Clearly.
Alright, now Mienshao finds his way on the field versus Jirachi, goes for a knockoff as Gardevoir pivots in. And again, this regen, that's doing a little bit more than you would like, but still going to end up at a pretty healthy amount of HP after switching out. Another T-Wave comes out, but Klefki able to switch in, and now the spikes are going up. If a Magic Coat comes out, it's a pretty free defog the next turn, so all good. Now, we're matching a hazard each, and now Calm Mind Jirachi gets in, and Slowbro tricks at a Choice Specs. And now this is scary, because this Jirachi is basically
Thanos.
Plus yeah, it's +4 essentially. It's 2 Calm Minds and a Choice Specs, which is 3 times special attack.
Yep.
So we're gonna have to now deal with, I presume, Moonblast. This Klefki, I mean, it's the only resist. Yeah, this Slowbro's taking 62, which is honestly not that much. But now Klefki's gonna come in on this Moonblast, and that's gonna take 29. That's a 3 at KO probably. Depending on rolls, right? Yeah, 33, 3 at KO easily. Now the defog and then the spike goes right back up. So Klefki basically sacking himself to get rid of the rocks, essentially. Now Mienshao comes in, goes for HJK. You don't really want to knock off the Choice Specs necessarily. Oh, but the Sash. The Sash might save the game for him. Because now you don't have to sack multiple Pokemon. You can only sack the Klefki. And this Mienshao can still regen up. So another HJK coming out here seems pretty safe. But we go for knockoff, which is considerably weaker than HJK and lose our Mian Shao, just out of respect. So love that.
If he misses the HJK, does he have a way to reliably come in and knock this out? Right, because like Jirachi would be at like 45 Torn. I don't think Heatwave would KO from that range. It could be max speed Jirachi, meaning that your Kyurem might not outpace it, right?
Yeah, and knowing the Kyurem set, it almost certainly doesn't.
So I'm guessing from his perspective, he wanted to go for knock just because even if he doesn't get the roll, at worst you leave this Jirachi in range of one of your attacks so that you don't just lose to it.
I don't know.
Me personally, I'm kicking there every day of the week. Me personally, I'm kicking. Like, I'm just saying. But I can understand his thought process because he's trying to play as consistently as possible, right?
I think he just thought it killed. I'll be a buck. Keep it a buck.
Fair enough.
All right, now Torn can come in, goes for a Heat Wave, as Skarmory is going to be the switch in when your Jirachi dies to rock or dies to spike, which I thought was really strange, right? But you're gonna see there is actually a point to this Heat Wave pivot, and that's going to be this is Scarf Skarmory, which gets up rocks once again, which is actually such a big deal into Kyurem Black, Torn. Yeah, so how many times has Hazards gone up versus this Mega Sableye team? 1,
Too many.
2, 3. So 3 Hazards have gone up. Alright, now the Zygarde comes in on this Torn, which could be packing Icy Wind, but doesn't go for it. Going to be a U-turn into the Sableye, as we see an Outrage come out, and that is Choice Banded. One-shots the Sableye. Now Torn comes in, can go for a knockoff if you have it, which will live the Outrage, but instead just goes for Hurricane, dies to the Outrage, and here, it's looking pretty dire. We might be going to a Game 3 of the tie breaks, right? Up 5-2. Yeah, Toxic in a very commanding position here as Kyurem comes in, the check to a Choice Banded Zygarde, so you'd have to hope this Kyurem is faster, right? And because the previous time they played, this was a Scarf Kyurem, Toxic was going to respect that, just sack off the Jirachi, and Kyurem is going to go for a Dragon Claw. So this does kind of look like it's Scarf here, so a Gardevoir is going to come in here, take advantage of that, go for the Mega here, and just Hyper Voice, which should finish off the game here. But the Kyurem is faster than this Gardevoir, goes for the Z Ghost, knocks out the Gardevoir, and now we've got a game on our hands, folks. Oh my god. Did you just feel the aura shift?
You would think that it wouldn't be that crazy, right? Because ideally, Fire Blast and the Dark Pulse should get the Kyurem. Right, L5?
Right. So
Right?
Salazzle does come in. I mean, even if you have like Toxic, right? Should be pretty comfortable. Goes for a Fire Blast. A crit does 52, by the way, as the Kyurem reveals Roost. As Fire Blast does miss, but I mean, it's only doing 37. Oh, we get a burn on the Kyurem. The plot thickens. Oh no. But this Fire Blast still only doing 33. This is very roostable. But that burn chip is going to start adding up. Yeah, so Roost all the way back up to full. Looks like we're just trying to PP stall Fire Blast, which makes sense. You want to end up as healthy as possible. You have 16 Roost, may as well use them. Toxic reads the situation, just going to switch out. But honestly, I think switching there is a little bit silly, because now this Kyurem ends up at full HP. The Salazzle, maybe it's like choiced, and you would eventually struggle.
It was. Yeah.
Oh, it was choiced?
I believe
frick.
it was choiced, yeah. Yeah.
So I was thinking if you run out of Fire Blast, just start Sludge Waving. This Kyurem will still be chipped at the end of the day.
I'm sure if that had been the case, he probably would have never switched, right? Like,
Well, in that case, he probably would have Toxic, right? And just Toxic the Kyurem.
Exactly, and would have won, right?
Yeah. Dude. 24?
My friend Greninja doing a nice 24. It's crazy work.
Now Fusion Molt comes out, does knock this guy into Torrent range, but still, this Kyurem way too healthy. Going to go to Zygarde here. At this point, we've kind of revealed this Kyurem to be like max Spadef, but still faster than Gardevoir. So maybe this banded Zygarde is faster than the Kyurem. It's really ambiguous, right? What these EVs are on Kyurem. So at this point, if the Zygarde is faster, he still just wins the game, right? Will it be faster? The Kyurem is faster than the Zygarde, folks. So this Kyurem Let's see. It has max HP, max special defense, max speed, max attack.
Yeah, we're looking at GSD Kiram, yeah.
Yeah.
I think in reality, it's max speed, max special defense is the EVs. That's what it had to be. I don't think anything else is possible because you still get a lot of those
speed?
KOs. Yeah, it has to be. It outpaced Gardevoir and Zygarde, right?
But this was, it did look like a pretty bulky Gardevoir. And like the Hurricane only did like 30s to the Zygarde.
I'm super sure this Kiram is like max speed, max special defense. That's what I'm... Zing can confirm, right? But that's what I'm thinking it is.
I don't know. I feel like it's some kind of like... Yeah. What Zing said. Like mix.
Wait a minute. Careful. Only 196 speed. Bro, so Toxic really greeted the speed on both Gardevoir and Zygarde then.
Yeah.
So if either of those two were faster, it was probably over.
It was definitely over. I mean, look at the game state. He's just cooked. But yeah.
Well,
it's not over.
You say that.
It's not over. Yeah. Oh my god.
If there's a will, there's a way.
I mean, we did see a Jirachi Ironhead flinch down like a 70% Rotom earlier in this series, right? So, Darkpool is going to flinch the Kyurem. There is an out. Can we get one more flinch? We do not. Okay, so Kyurem roosts back up to full. And by the way, at this point, the Salazzle, it looks like it's dead to spikes, right? 12%. I don't think you can ever live spikes because it does round up on the display. This is like 11 point something percent. So at this point, just attack the Kyurem, right? We don't need to waste time roosting. And now we're just giving more opportunities to flinch, and he gets it. The plot thickens. We're in one flinch range here of winning the game, because Greninja obviously going to knock out the Slowbro after regen. Here's the Z move. What is it? It's Hydro Vortex in Torrent. Will it knock out the Kyurem, folks? It just barely does not hit the mark. And there's no flinch chance on this guy. Yeah, Undead finally sees the writing on the wall. Just attack, and the game is yours. Knocks out the Greninja. Goes down to the burn. And this Salazzle is in range of Spike. Goes down, and the Slowbro, last man standing, will clinch up the tie breaks for DCL semifinals. And now we have Judgment Day versus Zero Fox Given in the finals. Which, some would say is to be expected. These are the top two teams.
This was a great game to watch. I really enjoyed this one. It saddens me that the speed creeps were the way the way they were with the Zygarde and the Gardevoir, I think.
Yeah, actually just the Kyurem from Hell from Toxic's POV. Like, literally. The one set, quite literally.
It was quite perfect into his roster, yeah.
Yeah. So great
set, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now let's take a look at the finals matchups. Do a little bit of a, because this is like a shorter stream, because we're only going through a few of the games. I think we have time to look at this.
Sure.
So this is going to be the finals here. And I'm looking at it. I think that Judgment Day has this one in the bag. I'll say it. What do you think?
Looking at the matchups?
Just like the player matchups. I feel like Judgment Day has the advantage in like the majority of these matchups.
I agree with you on that. I do think, just strictly player-wise, I think that there's an advantage for them. But individual matchup-wise,
I haven't looked at the Mon matchups at all, to be honest.
Yeah, there's some room for discussion.
For sure, yeah.
All I know is that this Genius X guy he's getting put down. That's all I know, for sure.
Yeah, Addison not losing this one.
Like, anybody doing fantasy, if you had a lock Addison, Sword and Shield 3. This is the one. This is the truth.
Yeah. Alright, so Agency Zone versus Ryan. I feel like Agency has low-key looked like the best SV player in the game right now.
Wait, you mean he's looking like J-Recky?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Heard you go on that.
Like, this guy has just been putting in way more work than everyone else, and it's been showing in his games. Really clean lines, really clean prep, and I feel like that will continue in the finals, maybe even get better, right? I know he took 60 mocks for his game versus me in the semifinals, and now in the finals, let's pump that number up to 70, bro.
actually crazy work.
I
I could not
know.
imagine playing 70 games of Pokemon in a week, like
Literally.
for draft. I could
Literally.
imagine playing 70 random battles a day.
Yeah.
but, but not
That's like
70
brain off
fucking
just
drafts.
clicking though, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is versus the Zaru team, which overall has been winning quite a bit more than it's been losing. But at
gonna
the
be
same
honest
time,
with you.
agency on a different level right now.
How the fuck does that team handle gouging fire? That shit looks tough.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like, gouging fire, what's your response? Is it tickle Alamola? Like, low
It's
key?
gotta, I mean, what else
Is
could
it
it be, right?
is like a Fizdef
Yeah.
Carbink and hope it's not Ironhead? That doesn't feel like the most responsible
Carbink's-
thing.
Carbink's not terrible in this
It's not
matchup.
terrible, but also, is it 2
Yeah.
KOing back? I mean, I feel like
Well,
gouging fire can pretty
plus
easily
2
just
body
eat
press.
for that. Plus 2 body press is doing like 35. Like, get out of here.
No, it's doing way more than that.
No,
You're
no, no, no,
underestimating
no,
Carbink.
no, 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 no.
No.
I'm
You're
calcing it.
underestimating
I'm calcing
Carbink.
it. I'm calcing
Do
it.
it. Max HP. I guarantee you. Okay, Fizdef plus 2 body press from Carbink does at least like 47 to max HP gouging fire. I'm so sure of it. That
Right.
guy's strong as fuck.
Plus 2 max defense Carbink body press.
Yep.
43 to 51. Okay, to max
Okay,
HP
so I was right.
gouge. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that shit's
I
strong.
get it.
That's what I'm saying. The banker, he has merit, right? He could make an appearance.
He does. But at the same time, Carbink's on the field. I'm just going to my Keldeo, right? And Keldeo
Yeah.
as well. Massive threat, right? It's faster than pretty much everything besides Cinderace.
Remember, this is King.
And maybe-
I'm going to my Keldeo and letting it die to the attack. L5 we're talking about, right?
What?
Which game was that where you swapped him in and he just died?
Okay,
I
the
forget.
corner pond incident.
Yeah.
we can leave that one in the history books. It's really fine. It's really okay.
Yeah,
But
I'm just
Keldeo
going to
does
my Keldeo
smash
on the
this.
super effective move.
Yeah, and I feel like agency as well as myself, like I kind of put him onto this. Terra Stellar Keldeo does look really strong into this because it covers like every Zarude Terra type with like Specs
True.
Terra Blast. It will always
That really-
kill a Zarude that's like slightly chipped, even like
That is
Spidef
a really
Bulk Up.
nice tech you can run into. Like specifically, it's like Bolt and Zarude. I feel like are the two guys that are like fucking impossible to kill when they Terra. But if you run Stellar Blast, that's actually an out.
Yeah,
So
and
if
if you
you
look
have-
at just like Stellar stab moves here, like your Specs Surfs and Secret Swords are also massive threats, and the Stellar boost does feel a little bit impactful. Maybe Aloe is able to check like a Specs Keldeo, but if you get that Stellar boost on a Secret Sword, that might be doing like 2 at KO range after like a Rocks. If it's like AV Aloe, it will be taking Rocks. So,
Right.
and even then, like Aloe can't exactly stay in on multiple Secret Swords very easily. Like you're threatening Mirror Coat, but at the same time, like if you don't Mirror Coat, you're just cooked. And if you Mirror
Right.
Coat on a switch out, you're also cooked, right? So it's like a really tough situation to be in. But I think Agency has the matchup. I think he's a more consistent player than Ryan, especially right now. And yeah, I'm just praying him to take this one. If I'm locking anyone, it's going to be Agency, I feel like.
I would agree with that for this matchup.
You see Yurdunk versus Mind Gaming. Now this team that Mind Gaming is using, I feel like I've never seen it lose. Like, maybe it has,
Yeah.
but
This shit is actually like Thanos.
yeah, actually just a Thanos team.
That shit. How is that 90 points? Right? Like that's
Literally.
What I wonder. How the fuck?
I mean,
how is that 90?
it's really benefiting from the Cyclizar being low cost, as well as Toxapex and Ogerpon being maybe somewhat underpriced at this current time.
Right.
So the team looks quite strong. Yeah. And Yurdunk's team, quite the opposite, right? You have some like overpriced ones in my opinion, like Glamora, Hisuian Samurott. Honestly, even Iron Crown I feel like is a little bit expensive for what it does in a lot
that
of
guy's the
matchups.
goat. That guy is the
That's a
goat.
hot take I have. I know it's probably wrong, but I feel like Iron Crown has not been doing as much as it has been advertised to be doing. Just like an eye test thing for me. Our Tornbull
This is
Za
our
teams
Torn-
are 13-1 combined post minutes. God damn.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No life SV much.
Literally. And you're still gonna lose to
this-
Agency, what can I say? This one does look like a Mind Gaming win though.
Yeah, it's a mind gaming win.
Yeah,
for
you have
sure.
you have
Like,
the Pex and the Corviknight for the Iron Valiant. Like it doesn't get too
Just
much
on
better than
matchup.
that.
yeah.
And an
Although,
AV
you know,
Torns for like
I will
stuff.
say, I do think like Samurott on your dunk stand could maybe do something.
Samurai?
Like
Yeah, maybe.
it's got like Encore for like the slower guys, right? And like I
Mhm.
feel like it's pretty easy to maintain hazards up with him. Like that could be a way to make progress, especially with like, you know, Glasgow knocking shit off maybe. Mouse? Could we see Mouse here, you think?
No.
Probably not, right?
It looks complete
I mean,
dicks.
we said that when it was Garg, what was it? It was like Garg, Steel type, and Ghost. Yet Mousehold came and
Died.
bagged everybody up. Yeah, no, it fucked everybody up.
Oh,
That was the
I'm thinking of a
that was
different
the game
one. Yeah,
versus- yeah.
I'm thinking of the one where it just died immediately.
So you're
after I
thinking too
glazed
negative.
it.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
My
think
bad,
positively.
my bad,
You're thinking
my bad,
negatively.
My bad.
Despite that, yeah, I just think tools wise and even player wise, it's probably a little bit more Mind Gaming's favor. But I wouldn't be like super shocked if your dunk won it. You know what I mean?
It's maybe
Like,
a little bit winnable for your dunk.
He's
Yeah.
had a good season, and I think he's like really been on the come up as a player.
Mhm.
I would say he's grown skill wise, probably more significantly than a lot of other players that like used to be around his player level. I would say.
100%.
So I
Yeah.
think I've been really impressed with his play lately. So I feel like he could do it.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at Lax versus Soggy Doggy Sage. In terms of like name value, two of like the best players in SV going head to head. This is going to be a must-watch game. I mean, Terrapagos Roaring Moon, a pretty standard formula here. A little bit of a different bottom half compared to the standard like Sinish,
Right.
Iron Moth, Gliscor kind of route. This one more so leans into the Terrahydrapple as like the focal point, and then some supporting pieces, right? You have your spikes, you have your spin blocker, you have a bunch of things, right? Knockoff support to punish ghost types.
My boy Sin is saying that this looks like an Enamorous Misto class. And while I am
Do I
inclined to
agree with
agree
that?
with you,
I mean, yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
kind of is. Terror Blast guy kind of just farms everything.
Isn't
right?
this the
With,
same
Stellar?
matchup that we had in Enam versus in semifinals? I feel like it is. Yeah, definitely. Because, like, okay, so
Oh, J Ricky, yeah.
some of the sets that we tried, let me just help out the Foxes prep because I know they need it. We tried Terra Ground, Calm Mind, Earth Power, Moonblast. I forget our last one on that. I think it was Sub. And that was really strong. We tried, obviously, the one that came to the game, which was Superpower, Terra Blast, Dark, Rest Talk with Chestoberry. That one was like a newer thing towards the end of the week that probably wasn't tested as much as it could have been. The ground one was really strong though, and as well as like Terra Fire with Mystical Fire and like Draining Kiss. That sort of like set really good into anything if the Quillfish is taken care of, right? Everything else kind of gets smoked by that. So a couple options for you there. The ground one probably the most consistent, but the fire one probably the highest ceiling in terms of like, oh damn, there's nothing that they can do about this one. Yeah, Ogrepon looking really strong here as usual, right? Roaring Moon can just get play roughed. Everything else super weak to the stabs. Maybe the Hydrapple can handle it, but at the same time, just Swords Dance on that guy. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna put this one more in Lax's favor though. I think he's been a lot more consistent this tour in terms of his performance. Soggy's had a little bit of a rough season, and also like, dude, what are those bottom three mons? Like, come on.
Those are the signature Soggy Doggy Sage low tier
Let's
picks.
get a fucking grip, please. Okay, like
Okay,
my boy Lax has 7 Pokemon that are real, and then Soggy's got 5. So I don't know.
Okay, what do you think are the odds Lapras comes to this game? Because I feel like Sage always finds a way to fit Lapras on the team.
Okay, here's the thing. That's not even a crazy statement to make because look at the bottom 3. It's like, do I bring dog shit A, dog shit B, or dog shit C? It's like, either way, you're bringing some goofy ass mon. Like it wouldn't surprise me if Miss Mag and Lapras made an appearance and we benched fucking Ogrepon. You know what I mean?
Just bench the Great Tusk, bro.
That's
Hydrapple, Rotom.
That's just Soggy's style.
Just
you know?
bench the Tusk, bro. Just bench it.
No, okay. So, look, I agree. Skunk is literally a top 5 favorite Pokemon for me, and it's actually okay in SV. But I can still objectively look at it and know that it's not a good Pokemon. That's okay. It doesn't have to be.
I feel like
in my heart, it's the best.
Yeah. I feel like this Miss Magius does have a really good chance to come, just because of the Terrapagos, right? And the Hydrapple. It does kind of like switch in on both of them pretty well, and handles them with Pain Split, Nasty Plot, sort of kind of sets.
I do think Skunk actually has a lot of merit this matchup. The more and more I'm looking at it,
All right, so we're
It's
bringing
like,
Miss Magus, Skunk, Lapras, and plus 3 other
yeah.
ones. Like Enam,
I'd bring
Ogerpon,
top
Gren.
five. I'd bring top five Skunk because Skunk looks actual demon here. Knockoff is super annoying. All those Pokemon really hate losing their item. Toxic is pretty free versus most of the roster, especially if it's not Poison or Steel Hydrapple. It's also got funny shit like Taunt, Nasty Plot. Like Skunk can actually be annoying, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So if we're picking one player in here, as like a pick 'em,
I think it's gonna go Lax.
I think I favor Lax as well.
Yeah.
All right. So now K-Crick versus Bobbert. Now Bobbert does have an Urshifu Rapid, which is broken, but there is a Toxapex, so it's probably gonna have to be like Terra Electric, Thunder Punch. But at the same time, you're not going too far out of your way to fit that in there when there's also a Corviknight. There's also like a Raging Bolt that you want to resist the Thunderclap. I feel like Terra Electric super reasonable here, as long as you're faster than the Lando T, or like maybe able to knock it off with the Ogerpon, get rid of like a Choice Scarf. That feels like it really opens up the Urshifu Rapid a lot. Now the Sun might limit the like Surging Strikes capabilities, but at the same time, you only really need the Surging Strikes to hit the Lando T. Maybe the Carbink. Everything else really covered by Thunder Punch and like a fighting move like Drain Punch. So yeah, I feel like this Urshifu Rapid about to take some lives. Maybe see some Encore trying to prevent that from happening, like Encore Ogerpon, maybe as like an aggressive switch in, maybe predicting a Swords Dance or like a Surging Strikes or a Thunder Punch. You can Encore that, kind of prevent the problem for a little bit, but at the same time, seems pretty challenging. You here?
Oh, I'm here. I'm just
okay.
I'm soaking it all in. I'm just absorbing.
yeah. Okay.
I mean, I think the matchup's more K-Crick favored, to be honest. Like, the Raging Bolt just looks really fucking demon here. I feel like there's so many routes you can take with it. I'm not even worried in the slightest about the treads because you have a Lando Corviknight. Like, that shit's never doing anything. So I feel like, honestly, something like Scarf Weather Ball, maybe, like Terra Fire, looks really good in the Bobbert. Like, sure, there's the Latias, but, like, that thing gets abused by Corviknight, shit like that, right? I feel like Scarf looks really hard for them to deal with. Even just, like, Scarf Dragon move fucking fries them, right? Like, what do they do long term? They need to beat Terra Fairy on the Urshifu? I don't think that's very likely.
Yeah, I think it's almost forced to be Terra Electric in this matchup. At least I would be surprised if it wasn't. Obviously, it's not forced, but I think Electric is quite clearly a strong pick into this team. I think it's favored. I feel like we see a lot of Scarf Raging Bolt into these Urshifu kind of teams, especially when the Dragon Resist is so like frail, relatively speaking. Like Iron Tread's not the bulkiest steel type ever.
Something I noticed that both of these guys have a Darkrai, but one of them just has a free Raging Bolt.
True.
So you tell me. You know?
Shout out to trades in the mid-season. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this Bobbert team, very much like a derivative of that like Meowscarada Terapagos Urshifu team that I used way back in the day to great success, and I feel like he's also finding similar success with this kind of setup. You have your Fast Dark, you have your Spinner, Rocker, like utility guy all in one, and then you have the Urshifu, the Healing Wish. You have your like Moltres, Fairy Check, because obviously Treads not the greatest Fairy Check, so you kind of supplement with a Moltres and a Quillfish. Then Ogerpon just like kind of fits everything together. I really like this team overall. That being said, a Scarf Raging Bolt does look like a immense threat. You could see something like a Spadef Ogerpon with like Synthesis to kind of neutralize that, as well as maybe check the Darkrai a little bit somewhat consistently. Maybe like Ice Beam is a little bit too much for that. I don't know, I would have to do calcs, but yeah. It is an Ogerpon Mirror. They both look pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, that's the thing too, right? Is that K-Crick's Corner Pond is also pressuring that Treads, because like, what the fuck else do you swap into that, right?
Yeah, it's not like Treads is a great switch in either, because it can carry that low kick and it is faster.
Right.
So maybe this.
That's why I'm saying the sequences
like, kind of crazy.
The sequences seem to favor K-Crick, I would think, right? Especially when you have like you got the fat pivots in Corviknight and Lando. Like, I feel like that gives you so much leeway to like reposition your threats. I just think like long term that's gonna favor K-Crick more personally.
Yeah. I'm pretty down to pred K-Crick, but I do think that Urshifu could just take over this game if played correctly. Maybe like a Wisp
sure.
Darkrai can slow it down as well. So like,
Yeah,
there
but
are
knowing these guys,
roadblocks.
they just have like the God Foresight lexicon that they tap into to always bring the world's best fucking Toxapex every game somehow. So, you know, if they continue along that train, then you know, clearly they're clairvoyant, and we all need to take a step back and pay respects to the god that is SVPEX.
Yep. I mean, I've been trying to get my team to draft Toxapex in the past, and they're just like, no, it's dicks. But now look at it. Vindicated by the future. What can I say?
True.
Alright. So it looks like we're predding 2-2 in SV, which is on brand. Alright. Addison versus Genius. We're going Addison here.
Now, as the resident Swish expert, my thoughts on this matchup are, I don't give a fuck. I'm not snaking Addison, so I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
Take it away, L5.
So this Cinderace looks pretty good outside of the Jellicent, and if you're bringing Jellicent, that's also like a free entry point for Primarina, and you click Moonblast, right? I feel like not a lot wants to switch on Primarina. Celesteal is your best bet, and even then, like, one prediction away from just getting 2-hit KO'd. I feel like this like offensive combination from Addison, pretty strong. Genius though, let's see. The Latios, there's a Jirachi, there's a Prim, there's a Zapdos as well, pretty capable of taking Draco Meteors. Maybe you see like Specs Trick or something, but I don't know. Doesn't feel like the strongest Latios matchup. Lando T has to face opposing Lando T, Zapdos. It doesn't look great either. Celesteela, the Cinderace is going to be a pretty big pain in its side. That being said, maybe an autotomized like Edgequake kind of thing, but still doesn't look like it just wins on the spot or anything. I don't know, does Nihilego win? There's a Jirachi that kind of hard walls it. Lando T also somewhat walls it. It's like not a perfect check, but good enough. Pangoro, good check to it. I feel like you just bring top 6 here, and it's pretty fine. I don't really see merit in PZ or Gastro. Maybe Gastro can do something, right? But I would much more expect top 6 here. The Zapdos is kind of interesting. There's a Nihilego to check it, but that's pretty much it. Maybe Sylveon can kind of stomach a few hits over the course of the game, but again, Sylveon, not really an offensive powerhouse here. Gonna allow Primarina and Cinderace in, or Jirachi in quite easily. Not really the end of the world. Can Zygarde do anything? Okay, Zygarde might be able to do something. As like an offensive threat, maybe Zygarde is your best bet. Just like trying to U-turn into like a banded Zygarde, Thousand Arrows multiple times. Every time it's in, it'll get like 30% on the Lando. It'll get leftied up. I feel like this Addison Lando is a little bit pressured to take on the Zygarde, the opposing Lando, maybe a physical Steela. It might get overwhelmed over the course of the game, but at the same time, you do have Healing Wish Jirachi to potentially bring it back if you do end up needing that. So I feel like having 2 Landerses here might be worth having a Healing Wish slot on Jirachi, as well as Healing Wish in a Primarina. That's a Pokemon that can trade 2 for 1 versus this team quite effectively, so if you're able to trade 2 for 1 twice, maybe that's a 4 for 1, or 4 for 2, I guess, because Jirachi's Healing Wishing. That's probably pretty favorable, just, you know, doing math. I feel like it does favor Addison, just the Mon matchup, as well as, you know, I think Addison's better at Swish, so I'll pred Addison.
Me too, L5.
Booyah! Me too. Alright, now we got Jake versus Undead. This is pretty fun, not gonna lie.
Dude, Jake's team is sick. Fucking
It is.
Mamoswine.
Yeah, this is like
I like
maximum
never
color
that guy.
theory as well.
Dude, Mamoswine looks like God in this matchup. The fuck?
Does it? There's a Slowbro, right? I feel like
Bro, that shit does not take Earthquake well. What are you talking about?
I feel like it does.
I'm bringing Life Orb. I'm bringing Life Orb Mamoswine, and I'm just deefing all over this team. I'm gonna run the calcs right now.
Alright, gets Earthquaked on my Slowbro, pivots to my Torrentee on Earthquake, pivots to my Slowbro on Icicle Crash, pivots to my...
Nope. Yeah, reads all your plays correctly. And just kills every
frick.
Pokemon.
You got me. Yeah. So the question is, how is Mamoswine getting onto the field? Yeah, it takes advantage of Klefki kind of, but Magnet Rise feels pretty likely when Mamoswine is as big of a threat as it is. What else do you really come in on? Maybe you can come in on a Nidoqueen hit if you catch that pivot correctly. Outside of that, you don't really get many switch-in opportunities for this Mamoswine. Going to be off the back of a U-turn
Wait,
or Volt Switch, it looks like. It does get Freeze Dry, yeah. But it also has like negative 1000 special attack. So
okay, but the thing is, no special attack, Life Orb, Freeze Dry does 44 minimum to max HP Slowbro.
Yes.
So with a little bit of investment, you're cooking.
Sounds good, yeah.
So I'm bringing Earthquake, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, Freeze Dry, Mamoswine. I'm getting every single play right, and I'm getting no less than 2.5 kills. Guy like me,
no less.
That's how it goes down. Yeah.
Yep. I believe it. But does Jake have the sauce?
Metagross also looks incredible here too, right? Imagine the Metagross just like tricks the Slowbro, and then Slowbro is just dead. Or if the Slowbro gets eliminated by said Mamoswine, Agility Metagross kind of just farms, right? If it's Lum.
Yeah, I think like the Metagross has to be Lum here. Maybe you could entertain like the idea of an AV or a Shuka set, trying to take an Earth Power from Nidoqueen or Kyurem Black. I don't think like I don't think policy is that great, to be honest. I don't see the vision.
Even if you get T-Waved, you're still going to get at least one kill, and then Bullet Punch is going to do at least 50 to something else, right?
Maybe if you're Bullet Punch, I don't think Agility weakness policy is going to work here.
Yeah, no,
it's like way too much wishful thinking.
Yeah, it would have to be like Meteor Mash, Earthquake, Bullet Punch, I don't know, T-Punch.
Grass Knot maybe for the Slowbro?
Sure, that works, yeah.
No, I feel like if it's me with this Metagross, I'm probably bringing like a bulky Toxic Protect set, trying to just wear down the Slowbro that way.
Right.
You can protect on Mienshao, you can protect on Z moves. There's a lot of application for Protect here. But at the same time,
kind of annoying.
The Sableye kind of cucks that kind of set, so maybe there's just no perfect Metagross set, you just have to pick one that's good enough.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, what the fuck does Jake do about Scarfian Mega?
Scarfian Mega?
Yeah.
Get rocks up?
Okay, well there's a
Mega Sableye, true.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, Mega actually looks not bad here. Like, it kind of fries everything.
You say that? I feel like it's a little bit too weak.
I know, but like, if you're letting your Feeny get damaged, then you're opening up for like late game Mienshao, you're opening up for late game Torn or Kyurem. Like, I don't know. Obviously, like, it's not like God or anything, but I feel like I wouldn't be super shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's reasonable, exactly. It's a great word. It's an L5 word. You use that word a lot.
I do. I use it a reasonable amount, yeah.
Does Metagross get skill swap? No, it does not. If you did, that'd be broken. Imagine you just skill swap a Heatran, take the Flash Fire, and suddenly you just goob.
Okay, hear me out. Choice Band Trick Metagross. Does it get that this gen?
Yeah, it gets Trick.
So Choice Band Metagross. You trick the Slowbro, everything else gets OHKO'd by Meteor Mash, right? I'm looking at it. I think everything else actually does get OHKO'd or like take 90% from a Choice Band Meteor Mash. And if you're able to trick the Slowbro, what does that open up for you?
Wait a minute. Here's Avenue B. All right, we bring the banded Metagross, except we just Choice Band Explode on the Slowbro.
Ooh.
And then you win with Scarf, Mamoswine, Icicle Crash. Let me know.
Or just banded Thunder Punch. I feel like that will do a lot to the Slowbro.
Nah, but Explosion.
But then you pivot out into Nidoqueen, and it's pretty safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, so with Rocks up, it's a 40% chance to OHKO max Slowbro with banded Explosion.
That might be worth. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you manage to secure that,
because there's a lot of Pokemon that it feels like Slowbro's the only thing really stopping them from doing big damage. The Lando, the Infernape, the Mamoswine.
You could just be T-Punch the first time, right? And then switch out on there, switch out. And then next time you go for the Explosion and just blow it up. Because like that extra
it'll be chipped, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So then Explosion would just blow it up and then you just sweep with fucking Icicle Crash.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That being said, Mamoswine is a little bit too slow to be like a win condition like that.
Yeah.
More so.
Yeah, but knowing Undead, he'll boot up GSC, Kyurem Black, and just wall the whole team, right? So
true, yeah.
There is that to watch out for.
So, are we pretting Jake then? Because I feel like we're mostly looking at the matchup through Jake's POV, so it does look a little bit favorable for his offense. But if we look at it from Undead's POV, like that Kyurem Black, probably pretty threatening, right? Ice Beam, Earth Power hits the whole team.
Like well played, Torn. Could be really frustrating to deal with.
Yeah, Electros does exist, but that's very much a limited time option.
Here's how I feel about it. I feel like if Jake brings the right surprise techs, he should have this in the bag. But I think that, like, if he's bringing some standard ass prep, that Undead's just gonna toss him. So,
well, Judgment Day has not been bringing standard prep like this whole season.
Then I'm gonna favor Jake then.
Yeah, I feel like I also favor Jake.
Assuming he cooks, because I think there's more room for him to cook crazy shit than there is for Undead. Like, his team is, it's kind of, you kind of know what it has to do.
Yeah. I agree. So we're going Jake, and at this point, the series is up 4-2 for Judgment. And I'm looking at Rye, and I'm looking at Mayo, and I'm like, I think Judgment Day are winning.
Yeah, dude, this matchup is, bro, Kellio. I'm not gonna say anything else, Kellio. Like, bro, what do you do?
Roselia.
Fucking Roselia. Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Nice. Even Mesprit looks good. Like, there's a lot of shit they can do.
Yo, low-key, on the Roselia, just go Weavile and Pursuit it. And then your Kellio just wins the game.
Infernape offensively is really frustrating for Rye to swap into. And also Aerodactyl late game is pretty devastating because once that Registeel goes down, there's not a lot that reliably handles the combination of like Aqua Tail, Aerial Ace, whatever, right? Earthquake. So I think it's gonna be a very explosive game. I think that it's gonna be decided very quickly.
I feel like this does look like a Scarf Keldeo matchup to me.
I mean, would you say it would be a Misto class?
Whatever that means, I agree.
Okay, great. I think it could be as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Scarf Keldeo checks the late game Aerodactyl, the Infernapes, like even like a Slack SD Garchomp, which is maybe somewhat threatening. I don't know. Actually, no, because the Weavile Ice Shard is always going to be in the back. But like Scarf Keldeo does check a lot of the scary late game threats. Can pivot in on Infernape. What more do you really want from your Revenge Killer?
As I look at it more, the Infernape might feel a little bit pressured to run more of a defensive set because Weavile is quite problematic. Obviously, you have Skarmory, but I mean, that thing gets chipped, Weavile gets an SD up, you kind of just fucking lose straight up, right?
Yeah.
So there definitely are worlds where it could be a more defensive Infernape, and that way it takes pressure off Skarmory so that it can, you know, come in and handle like the Registeel, the Mesprit, whatever. Honestly, Skarm is kind of shit. I could see it being benched, low key. So but if they go that route, then they almost certainly have to be a defensive Infernape.
I don't know about benching Skarm. I feel like
I guess no spike then, right?
I feel like just having the Skarm to set hazards is really valuable.
Yeah,
like the other rockers is just like they want to do other things this matchup. Like Aerodactyl, maybe you can set rocks up early game while the Registeel is still alive, and that's like a useful turn for it. But at the same time, you're at worst like trading rocks with the Registeel, which doesn't feel great. I don't know, I could see Mayo winning this one, but also I think Rye is just on a different level in ORAS right now.
Yeah, I mean he's been kind of the MVP the whole season, right?
Yeah, this season and DPL and the ORAS Cup, he's just been winning. I expect that trend to continue. What can I say?
Yeah, if history repeats itself, then I would say it's definitely right. But like Mayo, here's the thing, dude. I feel like I'd never see this guy play. But when he does play, he always plays at like a really high level, honestly. Like he's a really amazing player. Every time I've watched him, I can tell the guy knows what he's doing. And like he's got experience. Like he's definitely not new to the scene, you know what I mean? Like he's vetted. And so I feel like if anybody could give Rye a challenge, I feel like it could be him.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's why they're in the finals, right?
I'm going to be honest, I feel like this game is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
It is interesting,
like yeah, for like player-wise, like I feel like this is the one that is really going to have me on the edge of my seat. Do we even need to talk about VGC, bro? Like,
now, to be honest.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Veteran. I was clarifying that he's a veteran. So, you know, bro, Zing is such a fucking rage baiting prick. This guy
he's
always
just upset because of the title and thumbnail.
Nah, bro, he always be saying shit to piss me off, and he like, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes you nail it, but fuck you.
Sometimes it be working. It's okay.
Before I was relevant. Listen, Zing, let's get one thing clear, buddy.
It's okay.
I've always been relevant, okay?
True.
Just
Look, if you ever want
humble
Genius to
yourself.
shut up, just say the word Cinderace and he will crumble. I swear.
Right. Or just say like Baxcalibur and you might trigger a fucking
we got
Vietnam
a new one,
flashback.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, BAXSHOTS.
Yeah, if you want to jump scare Zing, just send him some fucking Baxcalibur fan art. He'll fucking flip out.
There it is. No. Yeah, I think Rise taking this, and I think Judgment Day is taking this 5-2 outside of VGC. And one of these guys is a VGC player, one of them isn't, so we'll call that 6-2.
Yeah, well said.
Which is what I said in the general chat. I think Judgment Day are winning 6-2. That's my prediction. But if you know Pick'em's theory, you know that I'm always wrong. So Foxes are not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. Wait, there's a Scoville in. 5-3. 5-3 Judgment Day.
Will you eat an entire onion on stream live if ZFG 8-0s?
If they 8-0, yeah.
Or what if they 5-0? Because they might dead game, right? So if they 5-0,
okay.
will you...
If it's a Fox's sweep, oh, do I get to cook the onion? No, right? It's just raw.
Yeah, raw.
Ah,
You
frick.
just come on stream, you talk about draft while eating a raw onion, and you can't stop streaming until you finish eating the onion.
All right. That's a bet.
I like
the
that.
title of the finals watch through: if Fox is 5-0, I will eat an onion raw on stream. You just tap on the stream and I'm eating an onion, and you already know.
You already know some foul shit went down.
That's actually super fire. But it's not happening either way. But I will eat an onion if they 5-0. How about that?
All right, you heard it here, folks. Pin that
Yep.
shit. Clip it, as they say.
Yep. All right, that's gonna be it for the stream. Thanks for joining me, Glop, once more.
Of course, man. Always a good time.
Yep. All right. Title: I love onions. Yeah. I did read a while back that if you just plug your nose, eating a raw onion tastes like an apple. Like it's like basically indistinguishable. That's what I heard. I feel like it's probably not true, but
No, there's some. Okay, I don't think it's gonna make it taste like an apple. It'll probably make it taste like nothing because actually a lot of your taste is derived from
your
smell.
nose, yeah.
So if you can't smell what you're eating, it makes it very hard to taste what you're eating.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You said that's cheating?
Yeah, don't cheat.
No, I'm teching
don't
that
cheat.
out.
Nah, that's
I
pussy.
can use text.
Nah, that's pussy. I can use text is crazy. Nah, that's just like bitch mode, bro.
All right, man. Well, see you guys in the next one.